This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 983, Investment Philosophies from Jack Bogle, founder of the Vanguard Group, by Sam of FinancialSamurai.com. And I'm Dan, I'm your host and your narrator, bringing you some of the best blogs on personal finance. Hope your week is off to a great start. And if you have any topic requests for us, please do come and share those at oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com. Before we get to our post, I want to thank creditrepair.com for their support. It's not just their name, it's literally what they do, and it's more than a one-time credit repair. Creditrepair.com understands that credit scores are a lifestyle. We all deserve an accurate and fair credit report, so let creditrepair.com help you out. They work with you to check, challenge, and ultimately change your credit score. Repairing your credit can be hard. Calling creditrepair.com? Incredibly easy. Call a credit advisor today and let them help you rewrite your credit story. Head over to the link in our show notes to sign up today for a free 15-minute credit analysis. For now, let's get right to it and start optimizing your life. Investment Philosophies from Jack Bogle, founder of the Vanguard Group, by Sam of FinancialSamurai.com. Jack Bogle is one of America's iconic investors, and I'm a fan. He is well known for founding and growing the second largest mutual fund company in the world, the Vanguard Group, with over $3 trillion in assets under management. You may be surprised to know that Bogle was actually fired from his first employer due to approving an extremely unwise merger that went south. Looking back, Bogle cites it as his biggest mistake, but sometimes mistakes lead to great opportunities. Quote, "When I was 38, I became head of Wellington Management, and I did an extremely unwise merger. I got wrapped up in the excitement of the go-go era, and the go-go era ended. As a result of that stupid decision, I got fired. The great thing about that mistake, which was shameful and inexcusable and a reflection of immaturity and confidence beyond what the facts justified, was that I learned a lot. And if I had not been fired then, there would not have been a Vanguard." Jack Bogle. Investing Lessons from Jack Bogle. At the age of 86, with over 60 years of accomplished investing experience, Bogle has seen more than most of us and has had many triumphs. Here are some highlights of his investment philosophies and savvy words of advice. Quote, "Forget the needle, buy the haystack." End quote. It can be extremely difficult to find the next big hidden gem, such as Google, Apple, or Twitter, before it has run up in price. Instead of searching endlessly for the next dynamite idea, Bogle has advised investors to reduce risk and avoid long delays in making trading decisions by investing across the entire market or sector. Don't overcomplicate things. Go for simplicity. Investing doesn't have to be complicated even when there are endless opportunities. Bogle has long suggested that individual investors focus on simplicity and not own too many funds. Don't get caught up in the hype. Standing your ground when everyone is headed one way can be emotionally challenging. Differentiating yourself from the herd is an essential Bogle philosophy. Although you may see everyone chase a hot stock, he has pointed out over the years that hype has a tendency to fade, and that in the long term the market reverts to fundamental returns. Keep those fees to a minimum. Every dollar counts when it comes to your investment portfolio, especially long term. Bogle has emphasized the importance of keeping investment-related expenses and fees to a minimum. It's critical to know what you're paying for because you won't be able to earn returns on money associated with fees. Familiarize yourself with the fee structure, management costs, and expense ratios of your investments. Do your best to understand the frequency of turnover in the funds you are invested in. Turnover ultimately costs money too, and you may be better off investing in a low-turnover fund long-term. Stop making impulse buys. While it's impossible to win on every single trading decision you make, Bogle has advised individual investors to stay away from impulse buys. Hasty decisions have a tendency to stem from emotions instead of rational analysis. Instead of buying stocks after a big run, Bogle has recommended that investors do their homework and understand what they are purchasing in depth. Take enough time so you don't rush into an investment and later regret it. Index investing as a core. Jack Bogle started the first index mutual fund in 1975 and has argued the superiority of index funds over traditional actively managed mutual funds ever since. Index investing has become more popular over time and has from roughly 3 to 28% of equity assets between 1992 and 2012. His support for index funds stems from their low cost and simplistic nature, which tie into his other principles. Staying the course long-term can have strong upside surprise. As a long-term horizon investor, Bogle has advised staying clear of the temptation to believe that the grass is greener on the other side. When temptations are the highest to stray from your own investment course, or when you are too focused on what others are doing. Instead of altering your methods and investment style to match others, practice blocking all of that out. Bogle has gone even further about controlling one's behavior, having said, quote, "Don't even peek at your account. Don't open those 401k statements. If you don't look at your 401k statement, this sounds outrageous, but it's true, for 45 years, you start when you're 20 and you don't open a single statement for the next 45 years. When you open that statement the day you retire, you are going to go into a dead faint of amazement about how much money you've accumulated." End quote. While that advice may seem extreme for some investors, you may want to take a peek at your statements to make sure your investment strategy remains on course with your desired goals. Be realistic. Bogle has also regularly recommended that investors should block out emotions from motivating their investment decisions. He has suggested relying on rational analysis instead and steering away from getting-rich-quick mentalities. As discussed in his book, The Clash of the Cultures, Investment versus Speculation, Bogle claimed that over the long term, a reasonable annual return may be 3.5% for bonds and 7.5% for equities. In this low-interest rate environment, I'd probably be even more conservative in terms of my expected investment returns. Are you a Boglehead? Here is a quick recap of Jack Bogle's primary investment philosophies. Don't worry about finding the next unicorn stock. Focus on the big picture. Keep things simple. Don't try to overcomplicate your investments. Forget about chasing the hype. Break out of the herd mentality. Focus on low-cost investments. Don't pay more fees than you need to. Use time to your advantage and avoid making hasty trading decisions. Hold low-cost index funds for the long term. Stay the course and don't obsess about how you are performing versus others. And be realistic with your expectations and get over greed and fears. You just listened to the post titled Investment Philosophies from Jack Bogle, founder of the Vanguard Group, by Sam of FinancialSamurai.com. And thank you again to CreditRepair.com. You can get a free 15-minute credit analysis with the link in our show notes. CreditRepair.com can help with collections, late payments, charge-offs, liens, bankruptcies, and repossessions. Millions of Americans have inaccurate or unfair negative items wrongfully hurting their score. This is something we hear about on this show frequently, and recently, in fact. And there's a reason they're called CreditRepair.com. It's literal. They make it easy to stay connected to your credit repair journey and help achieve the goals you've set in the process. Previous members have seen an average 40-point TransUnion credit score gain during 4 months of membership. Repairing your credit can be hard. Calling CreditRepair.com? Incredibly easy. Call a credit advisor today and let them help you to rewrite your credit story. Head over to the link in our show notes to sign up today for a free 15-minute credit analysis. And that'll do it for another edition of Optimal Finance Daily. Have yourself a great rest of your day, and thanks so much for listening. I'll see you back here tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.